Do you guys remember The Office? Missionary dating. That sounds like something you do on your honeymoon. Let me clarify what missionary dating is. Missionary dating is when a Christian dates a non-Christian in hopes of converting them to help them see the light. I know it sounds kind of crazy. It's actually more commonplace than you realize. After all, why do Christians date non-Christians in hopes of converting them? It's one thing to befriend someone, but it's a whole other ballgame to date them. I admit, before doing biblical research, that I thought this idea had some merit. Then I read God's Word. It does not. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? Now in context, this is talking about marriages, but since the whole point of dating someone is to find out whether you're going to marry them or not, we can apply it here. Many people who are in these missionary dating scenarios pray to God and ask Him whether they should stay in these relationships or not. There's a couple of major problems with that. One, they're clearly ignoring God's Word and hoping that He will make an exception for them. Number two, by ignoring God's Word, they are placing their judgment above God's and therefore not even trusting God. What's even worse is that they recognize that their relationship is not right, and yet they still continue with it. This not only wastes their time, but it wastes the other person's time as well. God has a plan for everyone, but it isn't going to happen if you're blocking them. I once had to come to terms with this myself. I dated a girl for 2.5 years. Now, she was a Christian, but the entire time we were dating, all the signs point to no, we were not getting married, we shouldn't even be together. And yet, I ignored all of them. And we wasted 2.5 years to find out what I already knew from the beginning, or what I should have known if I just paid attention, was that we weren't getting married, and therefore we wasted that much time in our lives just by ignoring God. How can we help those in missionary dating relationships, besides watching Back to the Future and hoping and planning out a time machine so that we can jump back to a time before we got in that relationship? I recommend just reminding them what God's Word says. We are to help our fellow brothers and sisters, but let me clarify that. It needs to be in a loving way. Do not be condescending about it. You will get nowhere. How do YouTubers usually do this? Subscribe, like, comment, Patreon campaign, and check us out at our website. We don't actually have a Patreon campaign. I don't know.